What really bugs you? What really bothers you in terms of what's floating around that's causing perhaps a lot of these female leaders to waste a lot of time and money on?
You know, I'm one of those people. I have wasted so much time and money working with people that I thought were going to deliver and didn't,
Mhm.
or people that I thought had, quote, the answer, and
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah.
And that is very frustrating for me as a business owner,
Mm.
but for me, because I see my clients getting burned as well. So one of the things that I think there's a lot of misunderstanding around pricing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pricing can actually drive your sales. And going back to that idea of high quality equates with high price,
Okay.
let me share with you a story that I think helps illustrate this well.
Sure. Sure.
So my client, Diana, is a PR professional, and she was contacted by a gentleman through LinkedIn.
Uh-huh.
They had a call. When they spoke, everything was urgent because this was a new position for him in an energy company.
Mhm.
He was a new VP. He really wanted to prove himself. And there was a PR effort that had started under his predecessor, but had fallen flat. And he needed to revive that. That was right from the CEO, that he needed to revive it and get everything in place. And he felt a great deal of urgency. So he contacted Diana. She got her team organized, and they started not only having these conversations, but putting a proposal together. And she and I were working together partially for her sales process and partially for this pricing piece. And she came in at a price of about $40,000. And as we went through and deconstructed it, I asked her, so there are some extraordinary circumstances here, because he wants you to do the work that would normally take you 6 months. He wants you to do that in less than 90 days. So there's a speed issue. There's a capacity issue because you have to allot your resources, internal and external. So there's so many elements to this that it should be a higher price, because you pay for things that you want faster or higher quality, or right. And that's true in the marketplace in general. So we eventually talked it through, and I recommended she price it at about $85,000. She was terrified, and she got to 70,000. She said, I think I can do it at 70. So she meets with him. She proposes this. He doesn't bat an eye, which tells me she could have gone higher, but that's what she was comfortable with. She finds out a week later that one of her competitors had given him a proposal for $120,000, and he didn't bat an eye. So she ended up not getting the work. And all that to say, even though her price was lower than her competitors, she still didn't get the work. And I was actually secretly relieved, because I knew how much lower she had priced it than she needed to, and for the amount of work, and she needed to pay her people, and she had her own expenses. So where was her profit going to be? So it's that kind of thing. Going back to your question about what is some advice that people get, and women in particular, that is sending them off course. One thing that just drives me crazy is this issue of what the market can bear. And we hear that a lot. And my belief, and why this drives me crazy, is because there is no such thing as what the market can bear. If you are finding your ideal buyers, if you're in the right market, there really is, as long as you're building value in how you're talking about it, and if your pricing makes sense to your buyer, the sky's the limit. It's different when you're a product related company, because you have a supply chain, you have expenses that you factor into that. When you're a service company, other than if you pay people to help you, your expenses are relatively low. And the quality. I mean, how many attorneys do we know that are charging between $600 and $900 an hour?
Mm.
I know some attorneys who charge $1,000 an hour.
Mm.
Now, I'm no fan of hourly billing, and I preach against it whenever I can
Mhm.
and help women convert from hourly billing to a value-based model. But people are willing to pay when they feel as though the quality is high and they're getting what they want.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to highlight that, not what they need. People buy what they want, not what they need.